In this video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can hire a virtual assistant for your agency in just 2 weeks without investing a lot of time, without breaking the bank, and without doing paid ads. These exact strategies helped me scale a business from a $5K investment to doing $12 million ARR in just 4 years. I did this with no US employees, no office, and a team of virtual assistants in the Philippines. I'm using these exact same strategies to scale my other 4 B2B businesses that I am running right now. I hire a lot of virtual assistants. If you stick around to the end of this video, you will have everything you need, including a step-by-step guide to hiring virtual assistants so you can free up your time, focusing on higher level activities, providing better service to your clients, and signing more customers. Your path to hiring virtual assistants starts in simple steps. Step number 1, identify your need. Create a list of everything you do on a day-to-day basis and order them from easiest to hardest. You're gonna start on the bottom of this list. If you've never hired a virtual assistant before, you wanna gain confidence and you don't wanna take a lot of risk. So you're gonna start with the easiest possible tasks to hire a virtual assistant for. I even like to start with tasks where there isn't a lot of downside. For example, having a virtual assistant do lead generation or do podcast outreach. If they get you on podcasts or get you some leads, great. If not, no big deal, and you'll probably learn a lot in the process. So create that list, start at the bottom and work your way up, and eventually you're gonna try to push the limit of what you can do with virtual assistants. Next to every task, assign it an hour value. How many hours are you spending a week on this task? Are you spending 10 hours a week in email, 5 hours a week doing lead generation? Putting hours next to every task is gonna let you really visualize where you're spending your time and where hiring a virtual assistant will help you the most. Step number 2, plan your hiring process and set your budget. We actually have a free tool if you go to outsourceschool.com/VA calculator that'll let you put in how much money your business is making and how aggressive or conservative you want to be. This will spit out whether you can hire 4 full-time virtual assistants, 1 part-time virtual assistant, or anything in between. So feel free to use this tool. Also, if you're going to hire a customer service rep, for example, go on Upwork and see what customer service reps in the Philippines cost. Most virtual assistants are between $5 and $8 an hour, but depending on the skill set, it might be a little bit more. And depending on how good you are at hiring and how well you follow these steps, you can even get less. The better you are at hiring, among other things, creating a culture and stuff like that, the less you'll have to spend on a virtual assistant. Step number 3 is create a targeting job description. You want to be super clear in this job description of everything you want in a person and also what they're going to be getting into. Make sure you put in requirements like strong internet, power, a newer laptop, also the times that you need them. Is it a hybrid schedule, a set schedule? Put the rate range and anything else that is important to this role. If you're going to be using a screen tracking or time tracking software, make sure you put that in as well. You don't want any surprises. The best part is we live in a world of AI, so you can go to ChatGPT and say, hey, create me a customer service job posting, or you can go on Upwork and see what people are posting when they're looking for a customer service VA and use that to create your own job posting. You want to be as specific as possible, and you want to even put in what is and what's not a fit. If you're hiring a customer service rep for your eBay business selling car parts, you want a virtual assistant that already has eBay experience, that already has customer service experience, and that already knows cars, so you can train them in that last step. You don't want to teach them eBay, customer service, and cars. You want someone who already has that experience, and that's what you want to put in the job post. Now, don't get carried away. You're not going to find a unicorn VA that knows how to do every little thing, and you are not hiring an expert. You're not hiring someone who's going to come in with their own system, their own process, and teach you how to do it. You can't say, hey, VA, go get me leads. You need a real process for them to follow. Virtual assistants are followers. So your job post should be about what qualifications they have, but it needs to be realistic. You need to find someone that can follow a process that you already have set up in your business. Number 4, the easy one. Go post that job. Post it on social media. Post it in Facebook groups of virtual assistants, of freelancers. Post it on Upwork. You can post it on FreeUp, my old freelance marketplace. OnlineJobs.ph, go ham. Post it in a lot of different places and use the feedback and the responses you get to make adjustments to the job post. Don't be afraid to delete the job post or edit it and then re-upload another job post. Number 5, screen applicants. Review resumes and do initial screening. I like to create a type form that every single applicant fills out so that I can only interview ones that pass the initial screening. You can have them write a writing sample. You can leave a little hint hint code in the job description, like say the color orange when you apply, and weed out a lot of people that didn't take the time to read the full job post. If there's any applicants here where their background doesn't make any sense for the role, like they were a former bookkeeper and they're trying to be a customer service VA, you can eliminate those very quickly without spending time on an interview. The type form should be 3 to 7 questions. Don't make it too crazy or else really good applicants won't take the time to fill it out, but get initial information and decide on your top virtual assistants to interview. Number 6, conduct interviews. Prepare interview questions and schedules. So you want to keep these interviews to about 20 minutes or less. You can do a really great job in that time. If it is a video role or you're going to be doing a lot of Zooms with this virtual assistant, make sure you do it on Zoom. Other than that, you can actually do this interview on Slack if you're just going to be communicating via Slack or WhatsApp or other text channels to see how they actually write. Whatever the method is that you're going to communicate with that virtual assistant, you want to interview them in the same way. Now, that doesn't mean you can't hop on a quick Zoom and say hi before jumping to Slack, but you don't want to do a Zoom interview for someone who might not be comfortable on camera when being comfortable on camera might have nothing to do with the role that you're hiring them for. Now, when I interview someone, I follow the CARE interview process. That's communication, attitude, red flags, and experience. I want to find out, can they communicate with me? Can I understand what they're saying? Can they understand what I'm saying? Can we get on the same page quickly? Can we move on from question to question at a good pace? Because if not, that's going to lead to a lot of issues when you actually start work with them if you can't get on the same page. For attitude, I want to ask a lot of questions to see what they care about. Do they care about money over everything else? I like to avoid those people. Or do they care about growth and building and being a part of something? Do they have an entrepreneurial spirit? And do they care about stability or do they care about taking risks? These are all things you want to know when it comes to attitude. I'll get back to the R in a second, but the E stands for experience. What past experience do they have in this job? I don't want to hire someone to be a VA that's never been a VA before. Whatever I'm hiring them for, whether it's customer service or lead generation or whatever it is, they need to have past experience, multiple past experiences, and I want to know what those are and what they actually did. So dive into specifics here, get real examples of what they did for their past clients. Now, the R in CARE stands for red flags. During this interview process, you want to look for what is this person telling you that is a red flag. You're not looking for the right answers. People can BS those. You're looking for the wrong answers. What is this virtual assistant saying that shows they don't have the right communication, they don't have the right attitude, or they don't have the right experience for the role? That is the job of the interview. Number 7 is assess and compare candidates. During this interview process, you're going to be taking notes. Write down the good, the bad, and the ugly. What are the red flags for each candidate? What could come up down the line? And who gave the best answers? Who has the best experience? Who had the best communication? Who had the best attitude? And remember, you are looking for the trifecta of all 3 and compare these applicants. Now you can decide, do you want to take one VA or do you want to take 2 or 3 VAs and give them each a test? I always recommend doing a paid test, not a free test. You'll be able to see what the best applicants actually have by doing it that way. Number 8 is make an offer. Select the best candidate or candidates if you're going to hire more than one for a test. Decide on an offer. Remember, you don't want to lowball people. You want to give them a rate they're happy with. Lowballing people usually backfires. And extend the offer. This is a written email where you break down everything from their rate to their schedule to their start date to paid time off, any other benefits you're giving them. Everything should be in this email. And then you wait for them to accept, reject, or negotiate the offer. Step number 9 is onboarding the new hire. And this is where most entrepreneurs mess up. You want to prepare onboarding materials, SOPs, and an overview of what training will be like. But during the onboarding process, you're going to follow the SICK method. You're going to go through schedule, issues, communication, and culture. You're going to go through in your business what the schedule is that they need to work, what are the issues that people have with VAs in the past, stuff like computer, internet, power, personal issues. You're going to go through how people communicate in your company, and you're going to go through the culture in your company. You want this person to know exactly what they're getting into if they accept the job. And it's okay to end this onboarding meeting with them backing out. You want to give them a chance to back out, because the last thing you want is to hire someone that has different expectations than you, train them, invest time into them, and have them quit down the line. So the onboarding meeting is your chance to set good expectations from the beginning, and this is what's going to prevent VA issues down the line. If you've heard virtual assistant nightmares on the internet, I'm sure you have, I've had them myself, it's all because those people did not set good expectations, and you're not going to make that mistake. Follow the SICK onboarding process from Outsource School, and that's going to prevent 99% of virtual assistant issues. And last, you want to review and improve. Gather feedback and refine the process. One of the best things I did as a young entrepreneur is every time I would have an interview, whether it was good or bad, I would go back and say, hey, how can I improve my interview process? What new questions can I ask? How can I dive deeper? What new steps can I add? What do I want to tweak? If I make a bad hire, what can I do to prevent hiring that same type of person again? If I make a good hire, what stood out about that person? How can I focus more on that kind of person in future interviews, whether it's the same role or a different role? So make sure you take the time after every hire to go back and tweak your interview process. It is an ongoing, living, breathing process in your business. When I started FreeUp, the company I scaled to doing 12 million a year and exited, I needed a part-time virtual assistant to help me get out of my inbox. So I followed these steps. I identified my need, I listed out all the tasks, and I said, hey, I want to focus on getting clients and proving this business model. I can't spend time on every single email. I then set the budget of $5 an hour. I created a job description and I said, hey, I need an email person in the morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. They'll clear out my inbox before I get on, and that'll give me a head start to every single day. It was 5 days a week, $5 an hour, weekends off. I was not going to use time tracking software. I was not going to use screen sharing software. And I wanted someone that had email experience. They had to write English at a really high level. They had to be able to problem solve and understand what people are saying in emails because it's not always clear. So I created a job description and I posted it on Upwork, on onlinejobs.ph, on some Facebook groups, and I got a bunch of applicants. Next, I screened the applicants like we talked about. I gave them each a type form. I gave them example client emails and asked them to explain it to me. I had them write sample emails so I could really see who was going to be good at this job. Next, I took the top 3 applicants and I interviewed them, and I compared all 3 candidates before realizing that Jane really stood out. For this job, I only hired one person. I didn't do a test with others. I sent her a job offer that said the rate was $5 an hour. Here's a schedule. You get 3 paid days off a quarter. This is what's expected of you. This is your start date, and really laid it out. And she responded accepting the job offer. From there, I didn't just jump into training. I spent time setting expectations. I went through issues that I had with past virtual assistants where their computer broke or they had personal issues that prevented them from working. And I made sure that they had backup plans for every possible issue. Backup computer, backup power, backup internet, someone to watch their kids. I made sure that they were going to be able to focus on work. I went through how I communicate. I can be a very direct person, so I let them know that, and I don't want someone who's going to take offense for me being direct. I went through the culture we were trying to build in our company, and of course the schedule I needed her to work because I didn't want her to come to me in 3 months and say the schedule didn't work. Gave her a chance to back out. She said no. She was really excited for the job. Perfect. She got started, and then I spent time to tweak my interview process, go back and say, hey, Jane ended up being a great hire, but how do I make my interview process even better? So that's how I hired a virtual assistant in under 2 weeks. So that's exactly how you can hire a virtual assistant in 2 weeks and stop being a slave to your business. You can 100% take everything I said in this video and apply it so you can start hiring and unlocking new revenue. But chances are you're going to run into a lot of roadblocks, such as identifying your correct need, setting the wrong budget, asking the wrong interview questions, having an incorrect job description, posting the job on the wrong platforms, screening the wrong applicants, and everything else that comes with doing all of this correctly. If you try to do this on your own, like I did when I first became an entrepreneur, then you'll waste thousands of dollars and time learning these lessons from the mistakes that I already made. So if you found this video helpful and you're looking to hire and scale your own business, I have something for you. I have a program that can help you start hiring the right talent for your own business that I have learned from scaling my own business from a $5K investment to $12 million a year with 40 plus virtual assistants and an exit in 2019. It's helped over 1,000 students hire over 2,000 virtual assistants for their own business. If that sounds like something you would like to do, click on the link at the top of the description and get instant access to the program with a 30-day money-back guarantee if we don't deliver on what we promised. As always, make sure you subscribe for more content, and I'll see you on the next one.